there. The third thing that'll need a tolerance is the actual positioning of your print or your embroidery. If you specify a particular positioning, then the tolerance needs to be a few millimeters either way. This is because the actual positioning of the branding can end up being slightly different because of the cutting and sewing allowances and tolerances. So the tolerances that's actually allowed for the measurements naturally ends up affecting the positioning of the branding as well. Another thing that'll need tolerance is the actual wash. If your garment has a wash to it, then the wash effect and the visual outlook from that wash will need a tolerance. And this is actually a pretty significant tolerance. No two garments are going to have the same wash on it. The wash is going to turn out differently on each piece, and there's no quantifiable way to actually measure this. So the best standard of practice is for your manufacturer to provide you a few wash outcomes, and you can pick what's acceptable and what's too different, and then they can use that as a guideline when they're doing the bulk to see what washes they can approve for production and what washes they can't use. Another thing that the manufacturer will need a tolerance on is the actual quantity that they're shipping compared to what you actually ordered. This is because when we manufacture products, we have to make a certain percentage over the ordered quantity to make sure that we account for anything that might get rejected during QC, so we can actually still fulfill the full order quantity. Now, sometimes if production quality doesn't end up being very well managed, then it allows us some leeway to be able to reject a bunch of goods during quality inspection and then still be able to fulfill the full quantity that you ordered. But if production quality is well managed like it is most of the time, then we will end up with a surplus of products because we didn't end up rejecting that many during QC. Quantity of each style overall may vary, and the quantity per size of each style may also vary. The standard tolerance amount when it comes to quantity is plus or minus 5% of the total order quantity or the total quantity per style. So that means that if you were to order 100 units of something, we would personally manufacture 105 units, and then if 2 of them gets rejected during QC, then we will end up shipping you 103. That's 3 extra units. If all 5 ends up getting rejected during QC, then we will ship you the 100 units that you ordered. And if more than 5, let's say 8 units gets rejected during QC, then we will end up shipping you the 97 units. So this is just an example of tolerances and how it applies to different aspects of your product and your production. It's a part of bulk manufacturing that you just have to account for. It doesn't just apply to the measurements, it applies to many other things. So you should be aware of it if you